Hi there, Zam here from NerdTube. These are my thoughts and spoilers of Mobland Season 1, Episode 7, Crossroads. And I have to say that just for a 40-minute episode, quite a lot happened. Serafina and Brendan are not dead. They've been kidnapped by Richie Stevenson. So that's how the cliffhanger got resolved. Now they're going to die eventually, but Richie wants to kind of bask in the glory of their deaths by filming it and showing it to the rest of the Harrigan family. Now, before I get to that, we do have the one-man army that is Harry D'Souza trying to find these two in Amsterdam on his own, taking out fucking cartels and gang members, shooting the shit out of everyone, motorcycle chases and everything. You almost feel like there's a military background with this guy, the way he operates. There could be, but it hasn't necessarily been exposed when it comes to his flashbacks. Because all we get when it comes to his flashbacks is his time in jail. And talking of jail, Kevin Harrigan, who befriended Harry when they were in jail, he just can't let go of the fact that he got abused in jail. And he knows one of the people who abused him in jail, one of the wardens, is in an old people's home. And he gets the phone number of that and the location of that place from Harry's cleaner. And in the latter episode, he's going to pay that fucker a visit. Maybe to relieve some of the anger and stress he's currently feeling after what happened at the end of this particular episode. We also have Eddie and now making moves on Harry's daughter. I don't know how Harry's going to feel about that, and there might be a bit of an age difference. I do think Harry's daughter might be underage as well. She's a teenager doing exams in schools, while Eddie seems like a young man at least, possibly maybe at worst case. I don't want to say worst case or best case scenario because he's still a fucking nonce. But he might be 18 or 19, if anything. But he seems to be a bit older than that, to tell you the truth. Maybe like 22, 21, something along those lines. But whatever he's doing, he shouldn't be doing it because Harry's kid is a kid. So we'll see how that pans out. And Jan, she catches them two like holding hands and stuff at one particular point after she's coming back from a pub where she was meeting one of her friends, her alleged friend. Doesn't realize this is an undercover cop and she's been played for a fool. She sneaks away from her house after her alleged friend gives her a call saying that she'll meet her in the Cotswold in the pub near Jan's location. And this undercover cop, she's basically using Jan's naivety to get information out of her. First of all, she'll start talking about herself before she switches it to Jan and get the odd bit of info here and there. Jan doesn't realise that she's being followed by some of the Harrigan men. And then in mid-conversation, whilst she's talking to her friend says killers and gangsters. And that's when one of the Harrigan boys walks in on them as she says killers and gangsters. So it doesn't sound too great when that particular moment happened as well. There's a lot, like I said, that happened in this episode, but regarding the main meat and potatoes of this episode, by the way, there was one small other thing that happened. Is regarding Kevin's wife, whose name just escapes me for this moment in time. She was still trying to do a deal with that French dude. We'll see how that pans out, but I don't think it's. I mean, she should learn her lesson by now and not do a deal with somebody who tried to fuck her over earlier. But sometimes people just never learn. But going back to the Harrigans and obviously the chase for Serapina and Brendan. Well, Harry is just not getting close enough to save Serapina and Brendan, and they themselves are going to be cut up into pieces by a chainsaw because there's an associate of Richie Stevenson who also dislikes the Harrigans, and he's doing this job for them, and he's. You heard this story earlier on about how Conrad Harrigan told this guy that he was a Mexican taco seller or something like that. That was a previous episode. Well, the son of that guy remembers that moment. His dad is dead, dislikes the Harrigans, which is why he's aligned with the Stevensons. So there's no way of like getting to this guy, buying him out or buying his his oh god, the word fucking escapes me now. But buying his favour, I guess, it's not going to happen. He's too pissed off with the Harrigans to do that. But eventually Harry has an ace up his sleeve, which is calling somebody else, this lady called Kat. She's an American businesswoman, maybe gangster as well. She's flying in a private jet, and she makes a phone call to the dude who's about to chop up, or who's already chopped up one of the Harrigans. He chopped up Brendan. I mean, there's a crazy scene of him like with the chainsaw going through him and everything. Yeah, quite bloody. So he's already one of the Harrigans is already dead. But Harry still makes the phone call to Kat, and Kat calls this dude who's doing the killing, and then the dude stops the killing. And the Harrigans are watching all of this, by the way, through their phone, and so is Richie Stevenson enjoying this moment as well. But that's when the episode ends, and now this lady Kat, whoever she may be, obviously a very powerful person, but somebody with a lot of influence, she now has done a favor for Harry D'Souza, and now Harry owes her one, and that could be at some point to betray the Harrigans. Who knows? Now, regarding Richie Stevenson, he knows something very important. He knows that Maeve wanted to get Conrad's daughter killed, which is why she exposed her children, or I mean her son and Serapina, to Richie Stevenson. And Richie knows this. This is dangling over Conrad right now. He could just tell Conrad this and fuck with that family even further, causing dispute within the fucking family, especially between the two top people, the godmother and the godfather themselves. And he hasn't told them yet. Why is he? Tell him now. You can't put this in your back pocket and use it later, because Conrad is less likely to believe it and just think that you're being desperate. But if he used it now, it would cause even more division, and he would be even more on top. But no, he didn't tell Conrad this when he had the opportunity to. And once again, this is all pretty much Maeve's fault, all of it. They could have put shit to rest after the funeral, but no, she couldn't let shit lie. And now we'll see where things go. And you know what? To a degree, you almost get disappointed with Conrad a little bit. Like, he should know his wife by now. Like, he'd been married to her for decades. They've got kids. They've been with each other for a long while. He obviously knows that his wife ordered a hit on Richie's wife, which is why he took responsibility for it. So what the fuck, mate? Like, figure things out. The fact that your wife was not even willing to show you the bloody text message. Like, Jesus. That in itself kind of shows you that, there's something wrong. Because if there was nothing to hide in that text message, she would show him. But she feels like her honour is being questioned, which is a way of, like, obviously trying to manipulate the situation. And Conrad's a wise old fox. He didn't get to where he was and still be alive because he was a fucking idiot. So I'm a bit disappointed in those particular factors, so to speak. And maybe they'll get revealed at some particular point. Yeah, it's a good episode. Fantastic episode. 9 out of 10. Probably would get a 10 if it wasn't for those other issues I had. But you never know. They might get revealed later on. Anyway, let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest social media channel you never heard of. Take care now. Bye-bye.